Okay, I'm setting up the YouTube. I'm sure. Okay, we will start.
Yes, sir. I think you can mute everyone and then start, sir. There's some background.
Okay.
It has started, sir. YouTube is live, streaming live.
There is some changes that have happened which I wasn't aware of. Anyway, we will start. Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannabadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye Dorbiryukta Chaturbispadikamanimai Makshamalam Dadhana Haste Naikena Padmam Sitamapi Shukam Pustakam Chaparena Bhasa Kundendu Shankas Padikamanibha Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevateyam Nivasatu Vadane Sarvada Suprasanna Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiti Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shinman Rama Katanadam Konayati Param Gatim Goshpati Kritavarashim Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Bande Nilatmajam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakāñjalim Bāshpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namatarakshasantakam Vaidehi Sahitam Suradrumatale Haime Mahamandape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimaye Virasane Sustitam Agreva Chayati Prabhanjana Sute Tatvam Munibhya Param Vyakyantam Bharatati Biparivritam Ramam Bhaje Syamalam Namostu Ramaya Lakshmanaya Devyai Chatasyai Janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilebhyo Namostu Chandra Kamarudganebhyah Harihi Om. Welcome back to this Practical Vedanta. We have had a fairly long break, 10 weeks. I just checked it for a variety of reasons. I had to travel very often to Chennai, particularly first 2 months. There were many rituals for my father, so I had to keep going. And many of them, I was not here on a Sunday. Therefore, I kept on postponing. In between, there was 1 or 2 possibilities of having, but again, the following week was not to be there. So I decided, let us wait for some time. Never realized, we'll have to wait this long. Anyway, so we have been seeing the Yuddhakāndam. By now, we could have actually finished Ramayana. 10 sessions would have been enough for us. But anyway, everything is God's work. We have seen, covered a lot of ground in Yuddhakāndam. To quickly recapitulate, 84 sargas, 83 sargas we have done, which is 75%, I think. To quickly recapitulate, I think when the troops arrived, even before the troops came across the ocean and come here, Ravana got little jittery. He sent a few people trying to somehow persuade Sugriva to be out of this, which didn't happen. And then the troops and Vibhishana also crossed and went to the other side. And another very interesting thing for us to remember is so many people had counseled Ravana of not holding on to this Sita and all that, because everybody, I think, uniformly said that it's not going to make too much sense. But anyway, he discarded all those. And then we saw he started doing foul play, bring bring fake Rama in front of Sita. All this happened. So many Rakshasa leaders were killed. We saw all that. There was a huge count of the Vanara army. All that we saw. But where we stopped last time was Indrajit came second time. First time he came and then he did this Nagastra and all that. Then Garuda came and all that. So this time he came, Indrajit, what he did was he brought a fake Sita and then killed her in the battlefield. That's where we stopped actually. Where we stopped was Hanuman was, since Hanuman had recently seen Sita Mata, he more or less thought it was real Sita, so he was personally very upset. And he and Jambon, they lost all their, enthusiasm and energy. That was what Indrajit had in his mind. And they came and reported to Rama, and Rama was also crestfallen. Then, if you may recall, there is a very long conversation. In fact, there is a very long. Lakshmana was actually giving back to Rama. What did your dharma do? Of what avail is your dharma? You have lost the Mula Nashanam has happened. All that, if you remember, that was where we stopped last time. He really gave back. What do you do with all this? What you need is money. What you need is power. But many of what Lakshmana said echoes what popularly people think today. They are all very much echoed there. But then Rama was steadfast. That is where we stopped the story. So we will carry on from there and see where it goes. So 84th Sarga is where we need to step in now. The Vanaras, all the Vanara leaders, Rama and Lakshmana, everybody is crestfallen that they lost Sita. But when Vibhishana got to know of it, he immediately comes and 23 verses in this Sarga, it's a short Sarga. First 13 verses, Vibhishana, after hearing, he says it is just an act of deceit. Don't fall for it. That's not what it is. So Vibhishana clarifies that. He says Ravana would never do that. And also, Vibhishana immediately says, because I'm not got into those details. Vibhishana has a battery of people with him who came along with him. So with them, he is able to intrude into the Rakshasa army and get to know what is going on the other side actually. So he got to know about this Indrajit going to Nikumbila to do a certain yajna. So therefore, he tells Rama, the last 10 shlokas, Vibhishana asks Rama to send Lakshma to Nikumbila to prevent Indrajit from completing that particular yajna. So those are all part of this Sarga. And then in the 85th Sarga, 36 verses, first 9 verses, Rama didn't hear it clearly. He didn't understand what Vibhishana was saying. Therefore, he asked Vibhishana, what is it that you are saying? I don't understand. Can you please clarify it? Then Vibhishana tells about this vara that Indrajit gets. He also says that the counterpart of it, or if the yajna is interrupted, and if the yajna is stopped and so on, he will meet his death. So he tells both. And he says, because of this reason, it is very important that we have to very immediately go and stop Indrajit from completing the yajna. So all those are told in this Sarga. So a few shlokas we will see to understand this. Tena virena tapasa Varadanat swayambhuvaha astram brahmashira praptam kamagas chaturangamaha. So Vibhishana is saying, Tena Virena means Indrajit, by Indrajit. Tena Virena tapasa, by tapas, Swayambhuvaha Varadanat, on account of the vara given by Swayambhu, which is Brahma. And what he will get? He will get Brahmashiraha Astram, an Astra called Brahmashira, a weapon called Brahmashira. Praptam, he got it actually. So, that can be fructified with this yajna. Basically, he already did the vara and got this, but he has to do the yajna to, for Avir Bhavanam, to get it in physical form actually. So, he already got that Brahmashira Astra. Also, he says that he also got Turangamaha. Turanga is one which runs faster, the horses, and Kamagascha. Yatha kamam gachati iti kamagaha. So, it will go at the will of Indrajit. So, wherever he wants, it will go. So, he got, see, for a charioteer, for a warrior, you need a chariot with very powerful horses which can do the trick. Half the trick is there. Remaining half the trick is the shastras that you have. That's why he asked for both of these. So, Kamagascha Turangamaha, Astram Brahmashiraha cha Praptam. He got Brahmashira weapon, Astra, and the horses tied to a chariot, which will be at his will. If he wants him to go on the Akasha also, it will go. It will, all that will happen. He got that. Sayesha Sahasainyena Prapta Kilanikumbilam Yaduttishtet Kritam Karma Hatan Sarvanscha Viddinaha. Then he says, Saha Sainyena Saha Yeshaha Praptaha. So he has reached Kila, indeed, Nikumbilam. So he has reached Nikumbila with his army. Why? To do this final yajna, so that that Brahmashira Astra and that Kamagasya Turangamaha will manifest for him. So that final act he is going to do. This is trump card actually. Yedi Uttishtet is what it says. And the Padacheda is Yedi Uttishtet Kritam Karma Hatan Sarvan Cha Viddhi Naha. By us, Viddhi, let it be known to all of us. What? Yedi Uttishtet Kritam Karma. If he completes that act and he gets up from there, then Sarvan Hatan Viddhi. Please understand, he will be unstoppable. He will be able to kill everyone. So this is the special favor that he has got from Brahma. So Vibhishana says that is what is happening actually. Therefore, we have to be very, very, time is not in our hands. So if he completes this yajna, Sarvan Hatanscha Viddhi. Understand that everybody will be, he will become unstoppable. So that's what Vibhishana says here. Nikumbilam asampraptam ahutagnim chayoripuhu tvamatatainam hanyat indrashatro satevadaha varo datto mahabaho sarvalokeshwarena vai ityevam vihito rajan vadastasyaisha dhimataha. Let me do a padacheda because there are a lot of compound words here. Nikumbilam asampraptam ahutagnim. See, there are a lot of akara there. Ma, im and a all joined as ma. So Nikumbilam asampraptam ahutagnim chayoripuhu tvam atatainam hanyat indrashatroho sa te vadaha. That is the first shloka. Varo varaha dattaha mahabaho Sarva Lokeshwarena vai iti evam vihitaha rajan vadaha tasya yesha dhimataha. So that is the second padacheda. With the padacheda itself, many of these meaning gets easily manifested. So nikumbalam asampraptam. Sampraptam means well reached. Asampraptam means not reached. Suppose if he is not able to reach Nikumbila, he has already reached the Nikumbila now. Nikumbilam asampraptam ahutagnim. Hutagni is doing the yajna. Ahuti in the Agni. Ahutagnim, which means if he is not able to complete his offering of the oblations. Cha yaha ripuhu. If he is not able to do, and what will happen? Tvam atatainam hanyat Indrashatro sate vadaha. Indra Shatru is actually Indrajit, because he is the enemy of Indra. That's why he is Indrajit. Right? Atatainam hanyat. Ripuhu atatainam Indrashatroho te vadaha. So, you know, if he could not, right, finish it, in fact, if we are not able to do it, that's what it is saying, while you have not arrived at Kumbila, or even while you are not. Oh, this is the Brahma is saying to him actually. Brahma is saying to him, if you are not able to complete, reach in Kumbila or complete this thing, then you will be killed. Varodattaha Mahabaho. This is Sarvalokeshwarena Varodattaha. So this is how this is the second part of the Vara. So this is what Brahma told. If you are incomplete in this, then the person who interrupts you will kill you. That's what Brahma said. Iti evam vihitaha. This is what has been ordained to him. This is what has been told to him. Hey Rajan. This is Vibhishana telling to Rama. Hey Rajan. Vadaha tasya yesha dhimataha. So we have to kill him. We have to get him out, because this is the second part of the boon that was given to him. So it must be stopped at any cost. This is what Vibhishana actually advised to Rama, and said, therefore send Lakshmana immediately with the troops. So 86th Sarga, 35 verses, in the first 15 verses. So since now the idea is very clear, everybody, Rama has understood what is the issue on hand. Therefore, Lakshmana and the army was sent with all the Vanara leaders. So they all go to Indrajit and go to Nikumbila and attack Indrajit. And actually, Hanuman unleashes a major damage to Indrajit army. Hanuman is at his best. He really destroys a good amount of the Rakshasa army. And also he, because this Indrajit is in deceit, he doesn't appear. So he tells him, you come in front and engage in a duel with me. That's what Hanuman is challenging Indrajit. Basically, some amount of interruption of his proposed yajna has started already. That is what is indicated in this Sarga. And then in the next Sarga, 87th Sarga, it's a huge verbal duel between Indrajit and Lakshmana. So 30 verses. The first 10 shlokas, Lakshmana reaches along with Vibhishana, the place where, so what was happening is the Rakshasa troops are fighting with the Vanara troops, and while this is happening, Indrajit slips out of that place and goes to where he is supposed to do the ritual. So that is the idea. So he goes there to perform the rituals. So Vibhishana getting to know of it, along with Lakshmana, they all go there. And then Indrajit questions Vibhishana's act of treachery. Vibhishana, in fact, Indrajit, on seeing Vibhishana, gets very annoyed. He said, you are my father's brother. You are a traitor. You are on the wrong other side. And how can you do it? All that kind of conversations happen. And Vibhishana in turn replies to him as to why he has taken a position like this. This has been a hotly sort of contested for the sake of argument and so on. Is Vibhishana really a traitor? For all the years he was with Ravana, why did he not have a sense of gratitude? These kinds of discussions do happen. See, these ideas of gratitude, thanksgiving, being nice to people, being kind, all these must be subsumed under dharma. All these will play a role only when the broader picture is there. In fact, that kind of discussions are missing today. See, we simply say, we have to be very grateful to people. We have to be, very nice. If somebody has helped us, we have to help. I mean, if somebody has helped us, we have to help. And if that fellow is looting some money, is there a way to help him? In fact, some of the big crimes happen like that. They justify the garb of adharmic thinking. So all these discussions make no sense. It is dharma first. If anything which vitiates dharma, everything has to fall like a pack of cards. But Krishna has shown it so beautifully in Mahabharata. I have told it a few times in the past. In the Karna Parva, Krishna has defined what do you know of dharma. Sometimes you have to bluff, because that by bluffing, by doing something which is normally not done, dharma is preserved, dharma is upheld. Because that is his avatara purusha mahima. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati abhyuttanam adharmasya tada atmanam srijamiham is what he has said. So this being ungrateful, being a traitor are all not proper discussions. Because there is a great act of unethical and immoral act which is happening. How can somebody be party to it? Using these kinds of arguments. That should never be done. So all those are there. But anyway, Vibhishana also tells a few reasons why he has no regrets of crossing over to the other side. So we'll see those, some of the arguments he is making. Dharmat prachutashilam hi purusham papa nischayam tyaktva sukamavapnoti hastadashi visham yata. Let us do a little padacheda here. Dharmat prachutashilam hi purusham papa nischayam. There is no padacheda there. Tyaktva sukam avapnoti hastat ashivisham yata. So that is how hastat ashivisham yata has to be split like that. So dharmat is apadana. It's called the fifth case, which means separated from dharma. You have come out of dharma. That is the meaning. The apadanam means in Panchama Vibhakti in Sanskrit means you come out of something, you separate yourself from an idea which is being described. So dharmat means out of dharma. Prachuta shilam, one whose activities and conduct is out of dharma, has gone away from dharma, deviated from dharma. If there is a person like that, which is what Ravana is. Dharmat prachuta shilam, he indeed, purusham, such a person, papa nischayam, one who is very firm on doing wrong things. One who is all the time wanting to do only this. Tyaktva, by actually coming away, leaving such a person and going away. That's what Vibhishana says. Purusham tyaktva, the Dvitiya Bhakti is for this tyaktva. Purusham tyaktva, papa nischayam tyaktva, dharmat pratyucha shilam tyaktva. Giving up such a person, that's what it means. Or moving away from a person who has deviated from dharma, who is very hell-bent on doing papas, he is a firm resolve to do only wrong things and so on. Correct? Sukam avapnoti. Tyaktva sukam avapnoti. By giving up such a person, one will only get sukha. Otherwise, you will get only dukkha. And how is it? It is like hastat ashi visham yata. It's like if you have a poisonous snake in your hand, first thing you should do is you have to shake it off and go away. You can't keep it in your hand and enjoy its beauty, or see, oh, how nice it is. You will prove your point posthumously. It should never happen. So hastad ashi visham yata, a venomous snake, the way we drop at once, the way we drop with great sense of hurry and so on, in the same way, we should not be party to anything adharmic, is what Vibhishana is saying. He says it will only destroy. In fact, that is why I remember, about 5-6 years back, I think, I went and delivered a talk in Guwahati. There was one Justice, Supreme Court Justice Pukan Memorial Lecture. So they invited me 1 year. I went there, some 300, 400 people, very interesting group in Guwahati. And I spoke there. Of course, I spoke something. They wanted me to speak on Gita and all that. I spoke on that. One lady at the end of it asked me a question. And her question was, who was right? Is Vibhishana right or Bhishma right? So that was a question she asked actually. She said both are great personalities. Don't you think what Vibhishana did was wrong and what Bhishma did was right? This is what she asked. I smiled. In fact, she asked only about Bhishma. I brought the Vibhishana, I think. She asked only about Bhishma. Don't you think what Bhishma did was right? Why all this happened and so on? I said, no, I'll bring another story from the other epic. You have to compare Vibhishana and Bhishma. And the end result says who is right and who is wrong. Bhishma was wrong because he did not see dharma in a broader canvas. He saw dharma in a narrow canvas. He thought his dharma was to keep up the word for his mother that he will protect Hastinapura, and so he understood protecting Hastinapura means protecting the Hastinapura king who is adharmic. He could have protected Hastinapura by actually, coming to the side of Arjuna. War would not have happened. Duryodhana would have run away. They would at least save their life and so on. So I told that that is not what it is. It doesn't work like that. If people are not on the side of dharma, however great their legacy is, however great their knowledge is, however great their past pedigree, everything will get destroyed. That is what is coming out of these two epics. Vibhishana came out because he realized Hastad Ashi Visham Yata. He should not be here. This will only be Sarvanasha. He told it to his brother also anyway. So that is what he is saying here. Then he says, Paras Swaharane Yuktam Paradara Bimarshakam Tyajyam Ahurduratmanam Veshma Prajwalitam Yata. He gives one more example. Paras Swaharane, taking somebody else's wealth. Paras Swaharane Yuktam Paradarabi Marshakam. Taking away somebody else's wife, some other lady who is, married to some other person. Paradarabi Marshakam Tyajyam Ahuhu Duratmanam. So such Duratmanam, such people, Tyajyam, are worthy of being dropped off, given up, being dropped off. Tyajyam Ahuhu. That is what is generally told. Wise men say like that. When there is a fellow who engages in these kinds of things, it is better to just drop him off, go away from him. It's worth dropping, shunning away or whatever. Tajyam ahuhu. And he gives one more example here. He says, Veshma prajwalitam yata. If the house is in big fire, it's a huge fire, first thing you do is run away from the house. Of course, you may take one or two very valuable things, but the fact remains you are not going to be part of that house. You will have to run away from that house. That is what is very important. If a house is in flame, you are not going to sit and continue to watch TV or continue to do what you are used to as though it is life usual, because you will also burn into ashes and destroy. So that is what he says here. He gives two examples here. Paraswanam chaharanam paradara bimarshanam suhridamati shankam cha trayo dosha kshayavaha. Then he says, Trayaha doshaha kshayavaha. There are three which will destroy oneself, one person. Kshayavaha. These three doshas are worthy of just destroying you. And what are those? There are three doshas. Paraswanam cha, same thing is repeated. Paraswanam cha haranam, taking away somebody else's wealth. Paradara bimarshanam, taking away somebody else's wife also. Suhrdam atishankam. It's a very interesting point. You have a close friend. I mean, you say you have a close friend, you keep doubting him or her all the time. Too much. If you doubt people who are very close to you, it is not good. It is not for your good. I mean, if they are really suhrit, actually good-hearted. Suhrit is not, I wouldn't even say a friend, although I use the friend here. Suhrit is one who is good at heart, who is close to your heart. If you say he is close to your heart, he is your friend. Suhrit means who is good in heart. That also can be told, in which case you can take that meaning also. So in both the cases, in all the three situations, these wrongdoings must be avoided. Otherwise, it will destroy. And so Vibhishana says, I have a sense of dharma. I have such a clarity of dharma. For you, you don't have a clarity of dharma. That's why you are getting into these kinds of problems. You don't seem to have a clarity of dharma at all. That's why you are getting into all these problems. And then he said, what are these wrongdoings that my brother did? Maharshinam vado goraha sarvadevaischa vigraha abhimanascha kopascha vairitvam pratikulata ete dosha mama bratuhu jivitaishwarya nashana gunan prachadayamasuhu parvatani vato yadaha. So what did my brother do? What kind of wrong things he do? Maharshinam goraha vadaha. He killed a lot of maharshis, either directly or he put all, we saw it in Aranyakanda. Those moment Rama and Lakshmana and Sita stepped, if you recall Aranyakanda, in the first 10 sargas, the sages come and tell Rama that please save us, and Rama gets very violent. Sita even said, why do you get violent? And so discussions, if you remember, we saw all that. Sita reminds Rama of dharma. All those are there in the first 10 sargas, actually. So that is what it is. Maharshinam vado goraha, sarva devaischa vigraha. So many other devas also you did the same thing. Then you have so much of abhimana. You have so much of manitva. That only plouts your ego and then brings a lot of anger and all that. That's why kopascha, vairitvam, you developed a lot of enmity. Your Ravana developed a lot of enmity with a lot of people because of all these. And pratikulata is not anukula, it is pratikula. He was adversarial to people all the time. Eshe doshaha mama bratuhu. All these bad qualities of my brother, what it did? Jivitaha aishwaryanashanaha. All his good qualities were destroyed by these bad qualities. Not that he did not have good qualities. He had good qualities. All those were destroyed by these bad qualities. Then he gives an example. So, aishwaryanashanaha gunan prachadayam asuhu. So they actually destroy bad qualities, actually conceal. Achadayam, prachadayam is actually concealing or covering it up and so on. So gunan prachadayam asuhu. They have a tendency to cover or conceal the good qualities, and that's what happened to my brother. And he gives one more upama here. Parvataniva toyadaha. Toyam dadati iti toyadaha. That which gives water, which is cloud. Toyadaha. Toyam dadati iti toyadaha. Clouds engulf the parvatas. When just before the rain, if you have a lot of clouds, sometimes you don't even see a majestic mountain is covered. by just clouds, and then the mountain becomes non-existent. See, in the same way, this Parvata is that Gambhiratva. Such great qualities that my brother had are all gone because he is in the path of adharma. So because of all these, I have no business to be with him. You may have your own views on it. I am perfectly convinced that what I did was right. That's what he says here. Then Vibhishana's final words to Indrajit. After speaking, see, there is a lot of discussion between the uncle and the brother's son actually. Yuddhyasva naradevena lakshmanena rane saha hatastvam devata karyam karishyasi yamakshayam. Yuddhyasva, you fight now. It's all over. Now you fight. Yuddhyasva naradevena, who is a lord of the naras, of the men. Lakshmanena naradevena. So this is adjective for Lakshmana. Naradevena Lakshmanena yuddhyasva. Rane, Lakshmanena Saha, that Saha also you have to take. You fight with. In the battlefield, now you fight with Lakshmana. Enough of all these. Hataha tum karishyasi. Yamakshayam karishyasi devata karyam. Now this Lakshmana is going to kill you. And he will send you to Yama. And that way he will do devata karyam. All devas will be happy that they accomplished a very important task. That is what is going to happen. But you guys have become too much adharmic. You have to be fixed now. Otherwise, this sustainability, dharma is all about sustainability. So the whole thing will not be sustainable. Therefore, now you fight with Lakshmana and see what happens. Then he says, Nidarshaya swatma balam samudyatam kurushva sarva yudasaya kavyayam na lakshmanasyaityahi bhana gocharam tvamadya jivan sabalo gamishyasi. Nidarshaya, show swatma balam samudyatam kurush, also samudyatam samyak udyatam. You, whatever power you have gathered, whatever strength you have, show all that now. It is time for you to show all that. Nidarshaya swatma balam samudyatam kurushva sarva ayudasayaka vyayam. Sarva ayudayaka vyayam. You have so much of weapons now, show all that. Bring all your weapons and then, show all your, whatever you can do, show now. Time has come for it now. Then he says, Lakshmanasya etyahi bana gocharam. But because of this bana gochara, gochara is the path or the range or its spread or its influence, all these we can say gochara. So Lakshmanasya etye bana gocharam hi, but this power of Lakshmana's arrows, tvam adya, today, na jivan sabalo gamishyasi. You will neither survive and you are not going to go back. This is the Ashirvada uncle gives. You could hear. This is the kind of, it's not a Shubha Ashirvada, but that is what happens when people stretch their limits. When people stretch their limits and get into too much of adharmic things, the world will only give shapa. Every lowest level individual to highest level individual will only curse. Nobody will be on their side. That is what is happening now. This man, is this the way you do? That's what he said. He said, you will not return today. You try all your luck. That's the end of your story. This is what was the final word, because after that, Indrajit anyway died. Vibhishana had no more conversation with him, except for a very small conversation that happens in between. That is more sort of so that is what final dialogue between Vibhishana and Indrajit, which reminds us once again that the story in this dialogue, or the moral in the dialogue that we see, is trying to do things in our life which does not have a sanction of dharma, which vitiates dharma, is a huge risk. We may not know when it is going to destroy us, in what form. That is the story here. And we do not know which way it is going to destroy us, in what form, we do not know. But that is what it is. If we go against the rule of dharma, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha dharma eva hato hanti. It will destroy. So that is what is being brought out by these conversations and the shlokas that we see here actually. 88th Sarga. So there is a fierce battle which erupts between Indrajit and Lakshmana. 77 verses here. First, there is a verbal duel. You know, Indrajit is telling all kinds of things at Lakshmana, and Lakshmana very nicely replies with one or two slokas. I'll show you those slokas actually. And then after that fights, they both start fighting. There's a huge fierce fighting that happens between the two of them. If we see some shlokas, we'll get a little sense, because I didn't want to really talk about which astra. There are a lot of astras they used and all that. And they are not of great interest to us. We want a little tatparya of what is going on here. So in that verbal duel, you just see what Lakshmana is saying. Antardhanagatenajau yastvaya charitastada taskaracharito margo naishavira nishevitaha. Antardhanagata gatena ajau yaha tvaya acharitaha tada. All those you have to split there. Yaha tvaya acharitaha tada. All those are there. Taskara acharitaha margaha na yesha veera nishevitaha. So Lakshmana says, you are only playing deceit. You never came in front of me. You seem to have you conjure a lot of tricks. Maybe you have a power for it. So you don't fight in front of me. You are antardhanagataha. You disappear and fight from the back. That is what you have been doing. Yati toya acharita. See, 2 times earlier when he came, he did only this. That's why Rama and Lakshmana could not find out where this fellow is. Yati toya acharitaha tada. Previously, when you came and then had an encounter with me, you were doing all kinds of mayajal. Antardhanagate najau. So you came and went like that. You were only antardhanagataha, coming and going, invisible and all that kind of things. He says, taskaraha acharitaha margaha. This is a marga which is done by taskaras, actually, by the thieves. So that is what it is saying. Taskaraha acharitaha margaha. This is what the thieves do. What you are doing is not na yeshaha veera nishevitaha. These are all not things which are done by great warriors. These are all done by people who are, all low-level people. So therefore, you can't do all these. He says. So he says, what you have done is all done by people who are all low-level people. You haven't done any great act of bravery by just hiding here and there and then trying to fight and so on. If you want to come in front of me, that's what he says. Yata banapatam prapya stito smitava rakshasa darshayaswadya tattejo vacha tvam kim vikatsyase. Banapatam. Patha means path. The English word path has come from path only. Patam means path. Banapatam means the way the bows are going, which means you become manifest. If you put a arrow in front of me, you have to be there. You can't be invisible and then put an arrow and then feel very great about yourself. Banapatam prapya. Yata banapatam prapya stitaha asmi. So I am in your reach of arrows, no? In your banapata, I am there. I am in the range of where you can put the arrow. Come in front. Why are you hiding like this and then fighting? Yata banapatam prapya stitaha asmi, tava banapatam prapya. I am in your range of arrows. Come and fight. Hey Rakshasa, tava Rakshasa. Darshaya, Darshayasva, Adya, Tat Tejaha. You show your tejas today. Come on, show. Tat Tejaha Darshayasva Adya. Vacha tvam kim vikatyase. See the 14 slokas are over. We are in 15 and 16. In the 14 slokas, he was talking all kinds of bad things about Lakshmana. He says, don't talk all that. There's no point in talking. Your talking makes no sense. You come in front of me. If you are such a great warrior, why are you doing all these Maya Jala and there? Come in front of me and then fight. Darshayasva adya tat tejaha. All that you talked about yourself, you are so great and so on. Show it now. Tvam kim vikatyase. Why are you simply talking this and that? So that's what Lakshma said. Kshatra bandhum sadanaryam Rama parama durmatihi Bhaktam bhrātāramadhyeva Tvam drakshyati hatam maya. So like that he said a few things. Now Indrajit again he says. What is he saying? He is saying Kshatra bandhum sada anaryam Paramaha Ramaha paramadurmatihi Bhaktam bhrātāram adya eva Tvam drakshyati hatam maya. I mean, it's very simple, but you have to collect it carefully. So, when these kinds of slokas come, then that's where we have to understand. See, there is a Dvitiya Vibhakti in several places. You have to now take all the Dvitiya Vibhakti into one place. Kshatra bandhum is a Dvitiya Vibhakti. Sada anaryam, that is a Dvitiya Vibhakti. Bhaktam, that is a Dvitiya Vibhakti. Bhrātaram, that is a Dvitiya Vibhakti. Tvam. Hatam is actually a participle. It's a verb actually, so it's not a. So we'll leave it. Tvam. Tvam is the Dvitiya Vibhakti of you. So all these actually mean Lakshmana now. That's because the you has come now. So now we are able to see the others are adjective for Tvam. That's what it actually means. So it says that Kshatra Bandhu. See, Kshatra Bandhu means, see, Brahma Bandhu. Today there are a lot of Brahma Bandhus only. One who are not Brahmins are called Brahma Bandhus. Meaning, namesake Brahmins. They don't follow Brahminical practices. So people use the word Bandhu. In Sanskrit, use the word Bandhu meaning he is closer to him. He is near him. He is not him, but he is near him. In the same way, Kshatra Bandhu. Kshatra Bandhu is not a great warrior. He is warrior-like. So, Indrajit is saying that this is an adjective for Lakshmana. He says, you are not even a warrior. You are like, you pretend yourself to be a warrior. Kshatra Bandhum. Sada Anaryam. You are not a Arya. You are an Anarya. You are an uncultured person. Sada. Always you are an uncultured person. This is the second adjective he gives for Lakshmana. Bhaktam. Kasya Bhaktam, Ramasya Bhaktam. So you are the Bhakta of Rama. Bhrātaram, and you are the brother of Rama. Tvam, Maya Hatam, that who is going to be killed by me. Maya Hatam Tvam, the one who is killed by me, which happens to be you, with all these adjectives that you have. Ramaha Parama Durmatihi Drakshyati. So he gives another adjective for Rama. Parama Durmatihi. Who is Rama? Rama is Parama Durmati. He is evil-minded, ultimate evil-minded, or bad thinking. Durmati, not a good mati, not sumati, good durmati. So Ramaha Parama Durmatihi Maya Hatam Tvam Adya Drakshyati. That is the shloka. That is the message here. All others are only adjectives put around that. So in other words, what did Indrajit say? Indrajit says, Rama is going to see that you have been going to be killed by me. You just see this, it is what is going to happen today. Then Visrasta Kavacham Bhumau Yapavidya Sharasanam Krutottamangam Saumitre Tvamadya Nihatam Maya. Saumitre, hey Saumitre, O Lakshmana, Sumitriyaha Putraha Saumitre, Tvam Maya nihatam adya tvam, the one who is killed by me today, which is you, right? And how? Visrasta kavacham bhumau. Your kavacha, your cover will fall on the bhumi. Your armor will drop down on the bhumi. Vyapavidya sharasanam. All your astras and sharas, bow and all that will be dropped. Krita uttamangam. Uttamangam, uttamangam. So I was looking at uttamangam can be anything, but all the translations are saying the head is severed. Krita is severed. So uttamangam, which is the uttamanga, this is the most important thing. If it goes, if you lose one limb or one right limb or one left limb or hand or leg, you will still survive. If this is gone, it is fatal. So maybe that is why they are interpreting uttamangam. Krita uttamangam. So your head will be severed. Your armor will drop. All your arrows will drop. I will kill you today. You just see. That is what this fellow was blabbering. Indrajit was saying. See what happens. I mean, there is a bit of psychology here. When people are at the verge of knowing they are out, they have lost out. I mean, it is losing a war, losing a life. That doesn't matter. We try to achieve something, and we are almost certain that we are lost. You know what is psychology? When such a thing happens, you have a Veera Vachana. You tell some big things because that's all we can do now. There's nothing else we can do. At least we can say all that and then, royally accept the defeat or whatever. So that is what he is trying to do. He is only telling him, no, I'm going to kill you. I'll turn you into pieces, all kinds of things. He also, Indrajit is giving back. But there is a lot of, if you read those shlokas, I did not bring all the shlokas. If you read the shlokas, you see a lot of tension in, Valmiki has used words like that. There is a lot of tension in the words Indrajit uses. There is a lot of anxiety. And there's a lot of pressure that you feel when you read those parts of Indrajit. Whereas when you read those shlokas of Lakshmana, I mean, it's all, he very casually says, that's all. You'll be done. You have done enough. That's it. So it talks in a different tone and a tenor. Choice of words are very different. So even the psychology gets expressed through these shlokas if you carefully watch it. Look at here what Lakshmana says, how casually he replies, you just see. This is another example you see. Just now we saw how tense and how aggressive Indrajit is. Here look at what he is saying. Akritva, this is Lakshmana saying to Indrajit. Akritva katyase karma kimartamiha rakshasa kuru tat karma yenaham shraddeyam tava kattanam. He says, Akritva, you did nothing. You are only, deceptive, disappearing here and there, doing some maya jal and so on. Akritva karma katyase. But you say, I will do this for you, I will finish you off, I will cut your head, I will throw your, so many things you are saying. Akritva katyase karma kimartam iha rakshasa. Why are you saying all that now? You are feeling very tense. You did nothing, you have not done anything, but you say you are going to do this, you are going to do that, and so on. Kimartam iha rakshasa katyase. Why are you saying all this now? Kuru tat karma. You do what you say. Don't keep on bragging. You do what you say. Kuru tat karma. What you said, you do. Yena, by seeing that, aham shraddeyam. I will develop some shraddha, some faith. Oh, this fellow is capable of doing it. Tava kattanam. Whatever you said, I have no belief. I'm not able to believe. I have no faith in what you are saying. Please show it. See how casually he is talking. Indrajit is talking with a lot of pressure and tension and aggression. Whereas Lakshmana is very casually saying, no, you are telling all kinds of things. Why don't you try? Show it to me. Then I will at least begin to think you are capable of what you are saying. That is the reply he is giving. Anuktva parusham vakyam kinchidapyanavakshitvan avikathan vadishyami tvam pashya purushadama. Anuktva. I am not going to say what you are saying. I am not going to talk too much. Uktva means having said, Anuktva means not having said anything, which means I am not going to speak. Parusham Vakyam, these harsh words that you are speaking, no, I am not going to do all that. Anuktva Parusham Vakyam Kinchidapi Anavakshipan, by throwing kship is to throw. Avakshipan, Anavakshipan. That's what it is. Avakshipan, Anavakshipan. Api Anavakshipan. Kinchidapi Anavakshipan. Without throwing words at you. Throwing here means throwing words at you. Sort of abusing you, talking very badly of you. I'm not going to do all that. Parusham Vakyam, I'm not going to talk harsh words. I'm not going to throw all kinds of accusations. You just know you said, Anaryam, Sada Anaryam. You said Durmati, my brother. I am not going to do all that. Avikattan, I am not going to say anything. Vadishyami tuam pashya, I will simply kill you. You just see. I am not going to explain in great detail and so on. In other words, barking dogs don't bite. And I mean, this is again a psychology. The dog is barking because it is tense. It is feeling restless. That's why it is barking. It is not barking for any other reason. It is feeling insecure. It is feeling threatened. It is feeling restless. It feels there is some perhaps danger for it. So this fellow barking is an expression of all that. That's why I said when somebody is at the verge of collapse, if somebody is at the verge of losing out, they will only become aggressive and tell all kinds of things. We don't have to take fear of any of those. It's a clear psychological phenomenon observed for time immemorial. That is what is being brought out beautifully by Valmiki here. Then they start fighting. All these happen. Then there is a fierce fight. So I have skipped some 20-30 shlokas. I have come here because there's a description of what kind of fight they were doing and so on. Now, what was happening? I just want to show you a few events. Tasya bane subidvastam kavacham kanchanam mahat vyashir yatarato paste tara jalamivam bharat. This is the first sloka is describing how Lakshmana actually destroyed the kavacha of Indrajit. The second sloka, which 3 shlokas later, is describing how Indrajit destroyed the kavacha of Lakshmana. Both are there. So I just picked up only these 2 shlokas. Tasya, Indrajitasya. Right? No, Tasya Banehi. This is Lakshmana's Bana. Tasya Banehi Suvidvastam Kavacham Kanchanam Mahat. By his banas, that is Lakshmana's banas, Vidvastam, Dvamsa, he destroyed. Suvidvastam. Kanchanam Kavacham, Mahat Kanchanam Kavacham, this mighty and great golden armor, large golden armor, Vyashiryata. He was just breaking it up. Ratopaste, as he was sitting in the chariot, and so when he broke it, it was just falling in the chariot actually. And how was it? Tara jalam iva ambarat. See, that fell down is to be inferred from this last upama given. Tara jala jalam iva ambarat. Tara jalam iva. Jalam iva. Tara jalam iva ambarat. It's like jalam is like mayajal. It is like a feet. It's like tara are stars. It's like some stars are falling from the sky. Like that, the broken pieces of Indrajit Kavacha, which was attacked by Tasya Banehi, Lakshmanasya Banehi. By Lakshmana's Bana, they were all broken. That's what the 54th shloka says. Now, the 57th shloka says Indrajit was equally, powerful. Vyashir yatamahad divyam kavacham lakshmanasya tu krita pratikritan nyonyam babuvatuhu babuvaturandimau arindamau. Vyashiryata Mahat Divyam Kavacham Lakshmanasya tu. So Mahat Divyam Kavacham, this great holy celestial armor of Lakshmana was broken by Indrajit. That is what the first line is saying. The second line is saying Krita Pratikrita. He is doing and he is doing in return. Krita and Pratikrita. You do and then I do in return. Anyonyam. So, they were very similar. Moment Lakshmana, broke his kavacha, immediately Indrajit broke Lakshmana's kavacha. Krita Pratikrita Anyonyam Babuvatuhu. So they were like that. Arindamau. The two enemies were sort of very equal in some ways. What Lakshmana did, immediately Indrajit also did. They were sort of very equal in terms of their fighting. That is what is indicated by these two shlokas. Lakshmano Ravanim Yuddhe Ravanischapi Lakshmanam Anyonyam Tava Bignanto Nashramam Pratipadyatam. Lakshmanaha Ravanim Ravanaschapi Lakshmana. So Lakshmana at Ravani. Ravani is Ravana's son, who is Indrajit. And Ravani also Lakshmana. So Lakshmana fighting Indrajit. Indrajit fighting Lakshmana. Anyonyam Tau Stava Bignanto is to be, Padacheda is Tau, because there is a Dvivachanam here. Tau Abignanto. So they were striking each other. Abignanto, Tau Abignanto, Nashramam Pratipadyatam. Both of them were never tired. They were never tired. In other words, same thing you find about Rama and Ravana also. Rama Ravanayor Iddham Rama Ravanayor Iva. Gahanam Gahanakaram Sagaram Sagaropamam. There is one shloka like that which we will see very soon. What it is saying is, just like Rama and Ravana were sort of equal, the same way Lakshmana and Indrajit were almost equal in terms of their strengths and their skills. That's why it says Anyonyam Tau Abignantau Nashramam Pratipadyatam. They were not feeling tired at all. Bana Jalai Sharirastaihi Avagadaistarasvino Sushubhate Mahaviryau Praruda Viva Parvato. See, in the first line, if you noticed, is a very long sandhi. But since this is Anushtup, we know there is a rhythm of reciting the shloka. So there is a way you can come and stop. For example, it says, Sharirastai Ravagadai Starasvinau. It's a very long word. But when you utter the shloka, Anushtup Chandas will come up to Sharirastaihi. Just see. Bana Jalai Sharirastaihi. So, moment you say Rastaihi, Visarga is there, that became Repa, Rakara. So, if you remove the Visarga, A will remain. That's why the way you have to split and recite this is Bana Jalai Sharirastaihi Avagadaistarasvina. The Akara comes from the Ra because I have taken the Visarga out. See, if we practice these simple things, shlokas become much easier to recite, much easier to understand also. That's why I was, once in a while I am trying to point to these. So, Bana Jalaihi Sharirastaihi. So, the Banas were in the Sharirastaihi. And how it was? Avagadaihi Tarasvinau. It is very deep. They were all pierced very deep in the body actually. And Tarasvinau. So, it is Dvivachana for both actually. That's why it is both. Tarasvinau. Shushubate, they were actually, Shubha is brightness, no? So they were actually shining, so to speak. They were shining. Mahaviryau, again Dvivacharam, the Dvitiya, the Dvivachanam. So Mahaviryau, which means Lakshmana and Indrajit. Prarudau Iva. Prarudau Iva. Again, Dvivachanam. That's why you have to know when you do a Padacheda here, Praruda Viva becomes Prarudau Iva. Praruda Viva it becomes. Parvato. This is like two shining mountains with the way these, these arrows are protruding is like the, you know, um, the trees projecting in the mountain when you see from a distance. It was like that. In other words, what is this saying? Both of them are very equal in their fight. So what is going to finally decide is who has dharma and who doesn't have dharma. So there will maybe greatness, there may not be goodness in one party. That will go finally. 89th Sarga. So the fight goes on, 56 verses. First 18 verses, Vibhishana impresses on the Vanara leaders that Indrajit is the last straw to be pulled out. So Vibhishana is really pushing the Vanaras very hard. See, I'll tell you, if Vibhishana is, if Indrajit is gone, Ravana is over. This is the last straw to pull out. Ravana is right. There is one shloka, I did not bring it. He says, killing Vibhishana, Indrajit is like taking the right hand of Ravana himself. All that he says. So he says, go for the final kill. That's what Vibhishana says. 19 to 38, Vanaras fight with the Rakshasas and so does Lakshmana. So, they go with renewed vigor, and then because it is a fight to finish now. 39 to 56, Lakshmana kills the charioteer of Indrajit. 4 Vanara leaders crush the 4 horses and destroy the chariot of Indrajit also. That's what happens in this Sarga. Ayuktam nidanam kartum putrasya janiturmama granam apasya ramarte nihanyam bhraturatmajam. See, at one stage when Vibhishana was actually pushing the Vanaras to the limit, that final, go for that final kill, when he was talking so much encouraging to them, he said, actually, I want to kill Indrajit. That's what he says. But I am unable to. That's what he is, narrating his predicament here. Ayuktam nidanam kartum putrasya janituhu mama. Mama janituhu putrasya. Janituhu is my my sibling. Mama janituhu putrasya nidanam kartum ayuktam. I am ready to kill my brother's son. Right? No, ayuktam is not correct. Sorry. Nidanam kartum ayuktam, because he is my brother's son. Ayuktam kartum, nidanam kartum ayuktam. So he says, no, killing my brother's son is not appropriate, but granam apasya, on account of my, granam is actually, what do you mean, reverence or love or, certain inclination towards somebody other. That's called granam. Granam apasya ramarte, but granam apasya ramarte, but for the sake of this sort of inclination and love and affection and respect I have for Rama, nihanyam bhraturatmajam, I feel like actually killing. Although it is inappropriate, I would actually want to kill this fellow, Bhratuhu Atmajam, my brother's son. Right? Then, Hantu Kamasya me Bhashpam Chakshuschaiva Nirudyate Tade Vaishya Mahabahu Lakshmana Shamaishyati. But if I really try it, Vibhishana says, if I think like that, first I think it is inappropriate. Second, I think for the sake of Rama, I should do. So let me really kill this fellow. But moment that thought comes, he says, Hantu Kamasya me, although I have desires of killing him, Bhashpam Chakshuschaiva, my, my water, my, this thing is, I'm filled with water in my tears. Tears are engulfing my eyes. Nirudyate, because, there is, after all, he is my brother's son. So I should not kill. That feeling comes to me. Bhashpam chakshuschaiva nirudyate tat eva yeshaha mahabahuhu lakshmanaha samaishyati. This mahabahu Lakshmana will finish the job. So I don't have to worry too much. Although I feel like I feel like doing, but that feeling is there in me, so I don't want to do it. In fact, throughout this Yuddhakānda, Vibhishana never engaged in the war at all. He was only giving ideas because he felt that he should not do. He should not get there and then kill his own. Whereas Arjuna had to do that in Mahabharata. That's a different story. Here, Vibhishana was giving all the help, giving all ideas, giving all the important things that had to be told. All that he did, but he did not kill. That he didn't do. So, how did the situation look like? Kravyada daruna vagbhihi chakshi chikshi puk chikshi purbhimaniswanan natadanim vavau vayuhu. See, I am stopping vayuhu because that's the meter. Natadanim vavau vayuhu nacha jajwala pavakaha. If I had said together, you see it will look different. Natadanim vavau vayurna cha jajwala pavakaha. It won't work. That's why these meters are very important. If we follow the meter, we know where to split the padas also. Natadanim bhavau vayuhu nacha jajwala pavakaha. It describes the situation. The situation described here is exactly like the situation described when Ravana lifted Sita in Janasthana. Go and read, the shlokas will be very similar. Godavari did not flow, wind did not blow. Same thing is told here. Kravyada dharuna kravyadaha. These carnivorous animals. Vagbis chikshipubir manihis swanan. Vagbihi chikshipubihi maniswanan. So they were not making any sounds. They were not making any noise. Niswanan. Na tadanim, at that time, vayuhu vavau. The vayu was not blowing. Nacha jajwala pavakaha. The sun, the wind was not blowing. The wind was not shining also. Jajwala, blazed the wind. It was not. That's what he says. Then, swastyastu lokebhya iti jajalpascha maharshayah sampetuschatra sampraptah gandharva sahacharanaihi. Again, when I stopped at samprapta, I added a visarga because when you have avasana, you have to have the visarga. When you have a break, you should have visarga. Only in sandhi the visarga goes. So sampetuschatra sampraptah gandharva sahacharanaihi swasti astu swastyastu swasti astu swasti iti astu lokebhyah swasti astu lokebhyah iti jajalpascha maharshayah. The maharshis were jalpana, they were whispering, they were saying lokebhyah swasti astu, let good things happen. Time has come to get rid of this fellow. That's what it is showing. Lokebhyah swasti astu swastihi astu iti jajalpascha maharshayah sampetuschatra sampraptaha gandharvaha sahacharanaihi. So the charanas and gandharvas who were all frightened, sampetuhu, they all came there to watch what is going to happen. They all came there. Lagavat Raghava Shriman Shirakaya Dapaharat. Again, I am breaking that word there. Lagavat Raghava Shriman Shirakaya Dapaharat Sayantari Mahateja Hate Mandodari Sutaha. Lagavat, just like that, with Lagava, with dexterity, with such a nice way. Raghavaha, Shriman Raghavaha, who is Lakshmana, because Lakshmana is also Raghuvamsha only, so he is also Raghava only. Here Raghava is not Rama, it is Lakshmana. Shriman Lakshmanaha Raghavaha Lagavat Shiraha Kayat Apaharat. From the body, he Apaharat means Duri Karot. He tucked away, sliced away the head of the charioteer. The charioteer is there. Sayantari Mahateja Hate Mandotari Sutah. Mandotari Sutah Saha Mahateja Yantari. He was, as he was in the chariot, right? He was actually going, as he was circling Yantari in the chariot, that charioteer's head was knocked off. Hate Sati Saha Yantari. While his head was knocked off, he was going round. The Mandodari Sutta Indrajit was going round in the chariot while the charioteer's head was actually sliced off. Swayam Saratyamakarot Punascha Danurasprishat Tadadbhutamabhut Tatra Samartyam Pashyatam Yudhi. Samartyam Pashyatam Yudhi. Look at the skill of Indrajit. Samartyam Pashyatam Yudhi in war. What was the Samartyam? Swayam Saratyam Akarot. Now the charioteer is dead. So now he is doubling up his role. Swayam Saratyam Akarot. He was actually doing the Sarathi job. Punascha also. Danuhu Asprishat. He also was fighting. So he was doing both. Tat Adbhutam Abhut Tatra. In that place, such a thing happened. Such a adbhutam, such a thing happened in which this fellow Indrajit has too much skills. That's why even after the charioteer was killed, he was controlling the horses as well as fighting. Both he was doing. So what does it mean? It means now the horses are to be killed. That is the meaning of this shloka. You get rid of the horses also. Tata pramati sharabo Rabaso Gandhamadanaha Amrishyamanas Chatvaraha Chakrurvegam Harishwaraha. Tataha, thereafter, then 4 Vanara leaders, Pramati, Sharaba, Rabasa, and Gandhamadana. These 4 people, Amrishyamanaha, they were full of energetic, very, they got very impatient, right? Amrishyamanaha Chatvaraha, those 4 people, Chakruhu Vegam Harishwaraha. So they felt that hastiness. They acted very fast, means they became impatient. And what did they do? Tesham Adisht, and in between there is one shloka, I have skipped it. They actually jumped on the 4 horses. That is the shloka in between which I skipped. But what it is saying now? Tesham adishtitanam taihi vanare parvatopamaihi mukebhyo rudiram vyaktam hayanam samavartata. Tesham adishtitanam taihi vanaraihi parvatopamaihi. Parvatopamaihi, they are mountain like. Taihi vanaraihi, by those 4 Vanaras. Who are those? Pramati, Sharaba, Rabasa, and Gandhamadana. These 4 who are looking like as huge as mountains. Taihi Vanaraihi, Tesham Adishtitanam Hayanam. They were actually Adishtita. They have sat over them. Because they sat over them, what happened? Mukebhyaha Rudiram Vyaktam. Blood came out of their mouth, which means they have died. Samyak avartata. It started flowing. In other words, the 4 Vanara. So now what is happening? Lakshmana killed Indrajit charioteer. Moment Lakshmana killed Indrajit charioteer, Indrajit was able to be double the role of being a charioteer and a fighter. Now you have to do something about the chariot itself. Therefore, what these 4 people did was they destroyed the 4 horses. I think it's time. We started late, so I think we'll stop here. 90th Sarga, we will see where Indrajit is actually killed. That we will see in the next class. I think now we should be able to, without cancelling, hopefully we should be able to go forward, I think. So I think with this, we will stop today. And we'll do the Mangala Shloka, and I just want to make one announcement. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahito Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah Aputra Putrinas Santu Pautrinah Adhana Sadhana Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Shinvannara Ramayanam Bhaktya Yappadam Padame Vava Sayati Brahmanastanam Brahmana Pujyate Sada Hari Om. See, this coming Friday, 25th of December, happens to be Gita Jayanti. It's also Vaikuntha Ekadashi. Normally, we have been, for the last 5 years, we have been having a very nice Gita Jayanti program in Rama Bhajana Mandali and all that. This year, of course, Corona and all that, it is not advisable when the government says we should follow what they say. So we are not going to get together like that and do the chanting. But I have asked, this Vyoma people who are organizing chanting. I have told we will do along with you. So they have jointly announced it. Ramesh I will share the details with Ramesh. Ramesh will share the details. 25th of December, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We will do chanting. We'll join online and do the chanting and celebrate our Gita Jayanti that way. Details Ramesh will share with you. I will tell him and he will share with you in due course. Okay, thank you. I think we'll close for the day.